I took a shower, so that's really nice. And I feel fresh and refreshed. But I'm making this video because I've had an experience today that really reminded me. It wasn't just my parents. It wasn't just that, you know, I fell through the cracks of the public educational system and the mental health system. And there is a profound lack of care and empathy and humanity in our systems of care in this country. I'm speaking about America here, because that's my experience. I won't speak for anything. That's my experience, and it's not just some kind of theory I read or some book that I read, and I just kind of, whoa, you know what? This is my experience. Years and years and years of a profound failure to care. And I look around me and I see the people around me as well in these systems, and they're being failed as well. It needs major, major reform, major reform, and it's sickening to me. It's sick. It's very sick. How our most vulnerable are being neglected and harmed by these systems. Fuck, fuck. I mean, I could write a book. I could write 3 books about this stuff. It's insane. My experiences, my thoughts about this stuff. I have been in that, the public. I've been in these systems for years and years, okay? And I've seen many, many things, and especially the mental health field. The dysfunction that is in the mental health field is crazy. How common dysfunction is, and how harmful it is, and how even sometimes it's very subtle. Sometimes it's very subtle. But the thing is, I have this gift of I can articulate and I could be very sensitive to these things. Some people they don't have that. Most people in the system are so wrapped up in their own pain, and they're wanting help, and they're really not. It's being really brushed over. It's really a very shallow system, where they don't really get to the root of problems, or really really help people, or really listen to people and care for people. They're too. I'm really tired. I'm really tired of. I don't even want to get into this stuff. I don't want to get into this stuff. I want to move. I have issues of my own, where I'm having issues functioning and socializing, and all this trauma. Um, and I'm really tired of being looked at as the other, as a cluster of symptoms, of a diagnosis, and being scrutinized and being looked through a microscope, and not really being helped or listened to or cared for in basic human ways. Um, what I really need is kindness, human kindness and connection and opportunities, maybe, and the programs that I've been involved in have been they've sucked. They've been really harmful. And I look at it's not just me and me being a contrarian or a malcontent, or, it's a profound failure. And just the word that comes to mind is profound. It really pops in my head how profoundly we have failed, and it's a collective responsibility. That's what I believe in, is that we have a collective responsibility. Um, and who's going to help these people, these very vulnerable people who need help, and they're not, and it's so pervasive, you know. I feel sometimes so small and like a voice in the wilderness or something, in a very sick society. Um, it's sick in so many ways. There's a lot of good people and things, but these systems are so broken and so sick. And again, it's not just my philosophy or I believe this. I've experienced it years and years. It's been proven to me over and over again how dysfunctional and counterproductive and harmful these systems of care are. And you look at how the elderly are treated and our children, um, they're not valued, they're not really cared for. It's sickening. It's very sickening. I remember going to school and just being like another. The teachers didn't even know my name. Back I remember back in high school, it was teachers didn't even know my name. I was just like uh, another faceless, you know, number 15 out of 30, or whatever. And I was just fell through the cracks. How are we going to allow all these people just to fall through the cracks of the system? All these very vulnerable, scared, terrified children and teenagers and people who've been traumatized, they're just falling, they're just being allowed. How many geniuses are out on the street, homeless, people with potential, and if they just were given the opportunities and they were cared for, but they're nobody cares about. I mean, there's not enough. It's not enough. You could say there's this or there's that. It's not enough. It's not enough. And I'm not going to stand. I'm not going to. I'm going to do something with my life and actually. You first got to help yourself, and that's what I have to tell. It's so overwhelming. It's just so overwhelming to look around and see so much suffering and pain. And the most vulnerable, the most vulnerable. I can't. Sometimes I can't. I feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders. You know, because I look around and I see it's so much. It's so overwhelming. It's so disgusting and sick, and it makes me so sad. It makes me so sad to look around the world and see all this. And there's so much potential for good, and it's who's gonna do it? It's like it's that thing of like be the change that you want to see. Because I don't see enough. I don't see enough, and I see so much harm in the name of progress or in the name of and it's disgusting. It's so fucking sick. I don't know. You know, people aren't being empowered. They're being, they're just being, they're not being empowered. They're not being empowered. I haven't been empowered. I've been disempowered by the system. Um, yeah, and it's like I have to empower myself and find my own systems of support and not obviously the ones that are in place that are the major systems of care um, have failed me. They failed. And over, I've tried to go back to them and again and again just failed and harmed. And yeah, it's like I have to make my own way in this world and find my own tribe or people to support me and own little groups and stuff like that because the major yeah I don't know I'm just repeating myself I can't I'm just having one of those days I'm having one of those days um, and it's hard to take care of it's hard just to focus on myself because there's so much work that needs to be done you know there's so much wrong there's so much wrong and sometimes I'm just so overwhelmed with that fact you know and it's a very human thing it's a very human thing and I'm kind of grateful for that and it's a challenge But I'm glad that I'm not numb. I'm glad that I'm not numb or in denial, you know? So I'm going to go and try to just take it easy tonight. I got in the shower, and that was a great thing, and I got out and I went to another city and, um, yeah, did my errands and I'm feeling better. And really just it's about empowerment and not beating myself up, that really, and finding support, finding real support, you know, um, that actually helps, and finding kind people to um, be around. So I'm going to go and, all right, bye.